Will artificial intelligence take away your job? How real is that threat? Is the future of work already here? Because AI is rapidly transforming the global job market. What once seemed like a distant threat is now appearing to be reality, knocking at the doors of nearly every industry. Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff reportedly admitted that half of the work at his company is already handled by AI, half of the work. And he's not alone in this major shift. Major corporations are slashing jobs and pointing to automation as the reason. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin is reportedly cutting 1,000 roles. That's nearly 10% of its workforce as it leans into AI-driven operations. Dating app Bumble eliminating 30% of its staffing needs reportedly to better compete with AI-powered dating apps. Business Insider reportedly laying off more than 20% of its employees, shifting towards AI-generated articles to offset declining search traffic, and even Google has offered employees early retirement in areas like search and ads, rethinking its human-heavy model. IBM has already let go of nearly 9,000 employees, mostly in HR, replaced by intelligent automation, while Intel could cut as much as 20% of its factory staff. Meta has trimmed 4,000 jobs while on a hiring spree for AI specialists, many reportedly poached from OpenAI. Microsoft, despite recording profits, has laid off 15,000 people this year alone, with AI reportedly now writing nearly a third of its codes. The CEO of Ford predicts half of all white-collar jobs could vanish. Anthropic CEO goes a step further, saying unemployment could spike by 20% globally due to AI disruption. It seems AI is not just changing how we work, it is increasingly deciding who gets to work at all.
We're so grateful for the amount of people who want to come to this community to help. And we've had people from all over the state and all over the country volunteer their services. But it's important that we have certified professional search teams out there right now.
Morning 6 days after the deadly surge, the scope of the damage still tough to fathom. Volunteers of all ages doing everything they can.
It feels heartbreaking, man. I just drop everything in my mind and I say, I want to help.
While the death toll continues to rise, Braxton Jarman's High School confirming the rising sophomore died in the catastrophic flooding. His sister Felicity still missing, while the family of 8-year-old Mary Kate Jacoby says she's entered the gates of heaven, calling her tiny but mighty and full of love.
The recent numbers reported break my heart. And they break the heart of everyone up here.
Grieving officials now facing tough questions on why flood warnings from the National Weather Service weren't communicated more widely.
This incident will be reviewed. You have my word.
Records from a Kerr County meeting in 2016 show a former commissioner said the flood warning system was pretty antiquated, calling it marginal at the best.
What's the biggest reason that these systems have not gone into place at this point?
You know, Morgan, you and I grew up here. And I wasn't in office during those discussions. And frankly, I'm more focused on the future than the past.
Meanwhile, the grim search for the missing entering another tough day.
It's a hostile environment is what we call it. Everything is moved, it's shifted.
Disaster specialist Larry Miner and his team, including horses and search dogs, working round the clock, determined to provide grieving families some kind of resolution.
We'll stay until we get it done. Yeah. And we want them to have closure.
No, 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 no.
Tense moments for a hiker in Ojai who came face to face with a mountain lion. Courtney Rasura says the encounter happened on July 3rd while she was hiking alone on the Gridley Trail. Rasura says she was texting and looking down at her phone, and when she glanced up, she saw the mountain lion walking directly toward her on the trail, and that's when she started recording. Rasura says she knew not to run. She maintained eye contact and began yelling, hoping to make the animal go away. It finally ran behind a bush. Rasura says she went back to the trail the very next day and has not seen the animal since, but she says she is rethinking hiking there alone for now.
President Trump reigniting trade tensions with a new series of letters to trading partners imposing tariffs from 20% on imports from the Philippines up to 50% on Brazil.
Brazil, as an example, has been not good to us, not good at all.
The president acknowledging politics played a role in the hefty Brazil tariff, pointing to the prosecution of his ally, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, for attempting to hold on to power after losing Brazil's 2022 election, calling the trial a witch hunt that should end immediately. President Trump has drawn parallels to his own criminal charges after losing the 2020 election that were dropped when he won in November. Brazil's current president saying the country will not accept being abused and will respond to the tariffs. As President Trump also said the U.S. has a trade deficit with Brazil, when the U.S. Trade Representative says it was actually a surplus for the U.S. last year. The president asked how his administration arrived at the new tariff rates.
The formula was a formula based on common sense, based on deficits, based on how we've been treated over the years.
The Senate's top Democrat slamming President Trump for not delivering on his promised 90 trade deals in 90 days.
He kicks the can down the road again and again. He talks a big game but shows little follow-through or strategic understanding.
As the president asserts setting tariffs by letter is a more efficient means to a deal.
Africa Business Summit had recorded.
In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Actually generated.
The new tariff rates are set to take effect August 1st, along with a separate 50% tariff on copper, which President Trump said is the second most used material by the Defense Department, vowing that America will build a dominant copper industry. Until that happens, however, Americans could see prices jump for products like appliances and electric vehicles.
President Donald Trump may soon approve another Patriot air defense system for Ukraine, according to U.S. officials cited by the Wall Street Journal. It will be the first major weapon system his administration has sent to Kyiv beyond what was authorized under President Biden. Donald Trump has been increasingly critical of Russian President Vladimir Putin. After a phone call on July 3rd, he called Putin's ceasefire efforts meaningless and resumed paused weapons shipments. Now, the White House is asking the Pentagon for options, including another Patriot battery. So how many does Ukraine have right now? 3 came from the United States, 3 from Germany, and 1 from a coalition of European nations. But not all are online at the same time. Some are down for maintenance. Even so, the Patriot remains Kyiv's most effective shield against ballistic and cruise missiles. Meanwhile, Lockheed Martin just tested upgraded PAC-3 MSE interceptors. The flight test, conducted with the U.S. Army on June 26th in New Mexico, showed off new software and guidance systems designed to better track drones and cruise missiles. The upgrades come in part from Ukraine's real-world battlefield experience, targeting hard-hit threats like Shahed drones and Caliber missiles. According to Lockheed, these improvements focus on what they call air-breathing threats, things like drones, cruise missiles, and aircraft that fly using engines. They're different from ballistic missiles, which coast after launch. The big breakthrough? These changes came from software alone. No hardware swaps needed. That means faster adaptation to evolving threats. Lockheed says PAC-3 missiles work by slamming directly into targets, delivering far more kinetic energy than a blast-based warhead. That makes them especially effective against fast-maneuvering threats.
Hospital officials say Israeli airstrikes killed at least 40 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, including 10 from the same family who were sheltering in a tent. Wednesday's strike comes as President Trump pushes for a ceasefire that might end the war and free dozens of Israeli hostages. Trump met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the second time in 2 days at the White House Tuesday, but there was no sign of a breakthrough. White House Special Envoy in the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, expected to join negotiations in Qatar in the next few days.
And while missiles rain down and drones prowl Ukraine's skies, a very different kind of a battle is raging on in the country's corridors of power. In a bold move to shore up the war-battered economy, Ukrainian lawmakers are pushing to decriminalize pornography, arguing that taxing the adult content industry could deliver millions in desperately needed revenue for the country's defense. Take a look.
The brutal reality of total war has forced Ukraine to confront unthinkable choices. With its cities under relentless bombardment and its national treasury stretched to breaking point, a bold yet contentious legislative battle is unfolding in Kyiv. Ukrainian lawmakers are pushing to legalize the adult entertainment industry, aiming to harness its lucrative potential to directly fund the nation's desperate fight for freedom. Lawmakers in Kyiv say this isn't about cultural liberalization. It's a stark, pragmatic calculation to generate millions in much-needed tax revenue. A grim testament to the extraordinary pressures facing a nation fighting for its very existence. This dramatic shift comes after a petition spearheaded by OnlyFans model Svetlana Dvornikova surged past 25,000 signatures, forcing President Zelensky to respond that lawmakers are working on it. Ukraine is not alone in this debate. Countries such as Germany, France, Spain, and the UK have legalized or decriminalized adult content production, regulating the industry and collecting taxes rather than driving it underground. As Russian missiles continue to strike and Ukraine's survival hangs in the balance, lawmakers are weighing every option. The question now is, will the legalization of porn become an unlikely weapon in Ukraine's fight for freedom and financial stability? Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
A senior Ukrainian intelligence officer has been shot dead in broad daylight in central Kiev, in what officials believe is a targeted assassination. Just a word of caution here. Some viewers may find the following details disturbing. Colonel Ivan Voronich, a top operational officer in Ukraine Security Service, was shot 5 times at close range by an unknown assailant wielding a silenced pistol. The hit unfolded as Voronich crossed a quiet street in Kiev near a block of flats. And without warning, a lone figure approaches, draws a weapon fitted with a suppressor, and fires 5 deadly rounds into the colonel. Voronich died at the spot, and the gunman vanished without a trace. A former Ukrainian MP blames Russian special services, claiming this is all the hallmarks of a Kremlin-style targeted killing. The assassination fueling tensions in an already shadowy war where both Ukraine and Russia regularly carry out covert eliminations. Since the full-scale war started in February 2022, a string of high-profile figures have been hunted down and killed far from the front lines. In December, Ukraine's spy agency reportedly killed a Russian general and his aide in the heart of Moscow. In April, General Yaroslav Moskalik was killed when his car, packed with an improvised bomb, laced with shrapnel. In fact, Russia responds with its own deadly operations. In September 2024, Russia's spy agency reportedly killed a Ukrainian spy, allegedly plotting to assassinate a senior defense executive. The war between Russia and Ukraine is no longer confined to trenches and missiles. It's being fought in whispers, back alleys, car parks, crowded streets. As espionage turns bloody, the spy war is becoming as lethal as what we are seeing on the battlefield.
You won't be surprised to learn that Hamas thanked President Macron and Prime Ministers Starmer and Carney for demanding that Israel end its war in Gaza immediately. Hamas was right to thank them, because by issuing their demand, replete with a threat of sanctions against Israel, not Hamas, these three leaders effectively said they want Hamas to remain in power. They want Israel to stand down and accept that Hamas's army of mass murderers will survive, rebuild, and repeat the October 7th massacre again and again and again, because that's what Hamas has vowed to do. I say to President Macron, Prime Minister Carney, and Prime Minister Starmer, when mass murderers, rapists, baby killers, and kidnappers thank you, you're on the wrong side of justice. You're on the wrong side of humanity. And you're on the wrong side of history.
All right, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua, Bahasham Rachak, with Ashdoma honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be. Wherever you may be, to you I say Shalom, Yeshua, Shalom. Right, so back into another current state or world news. I don't know, probably more so the current state. I mean, it's similar. It's not too much different. World news is gathering everything from, from around the world, seeing what's going on, according to prophecies or certain things that are going on, events and all these different things. Current state more so just grabbing certain things that are happening at the moment. Okay, so nonetheless, with commentary, and I wanted to go into this because this last clip, which is the last one from the news here. This video is not brand new, like it just came out a couple hours ago, but it can't be any more than a month old. And the reason why I want to speak on it real quick is because of what this guy, which we all know who this is, what he says in it, all right? And as a matter of fact, since I have it here on the screen, let me just take it back a couple ticks, okay, and play it again.
And again and again, because that's what Hamas is vowed to do. I say to President Macron, Prime Minister Carney, and Prime Minister Starmer, when mass murderers, rapists, baby killers, and kidnappers thank you, you're on the wrong side of justice. You're on the wrong side of humanity. And you're on the wrong side of history.
So you hear what this guy said. And we know this is Esau at his best, man. So when mass murderers, as in, I guess what they're doing, because they're committing genocide on a lot of children and women, all right, or into that children, women, and babies are part of their genocide. Of course, they're killing men, but they're killing a lot of children and a lot of babies, okay, in their mass genocide, all right, with this war so-called against the Palestinians and so on and so forth. Then they said, what? They said murderers. Then they said, what? Rapists. Come on now. Well, like, we ain't forgot about them rats in the tone, man, okay? The baby strollers, the bloody mattresses, stained mattresses, and all this kind of filthiness, right? Rats coming out the sewer. Like, come on, man. We're not unfamiliar with your history, but okay, whatever, you said it. Let me go back one more time. All right, rapists, okay, which there's been talk of them, we'll say mishandling individuals that they have been taken captive as hostages, right? The information is coming out about that. Now, how true or not it is, who knows, all right? Probably is, probably isn't, who knows? But there's been talks about that coming out, okay? But here you say mass murderers, which you're doing, rapists, which you've done, baby killers, which you're still doing, right? Okay, and also we just talked about, this child sex trafficking, all this kind of craziness that they have going on too, right?
Baby killers and kidnappers, thank you.
Kidnappers, okay? So kidnappers, right? And
you're on the wrong side of justice.
And then he says that you're on the wrong side of justice and the wrong side of history, right? And so this is a bunch of poppycock, as they would say. Actually, I want, let me get rid of that. I want this. Job 20:4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short? And there's two things we can point out here, one for one. As a matter of fact, let's do this real quick, because it's also in Job. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get that. Actually, I'm not going here though, because I can pull it up from. Oh no, actually I can't. So yeah, let's just do that then. All right, so we'll pull it up anyways. So Job 9:24, the earth, this planet, right? The condition of it as of right now is under certain people's hands, is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. All right, so it's not talking about the spirit of demon Satan. It's talking about a people, okay, which runs back to the banking families who are Edomites. They are known as the wicked, and we can prove that. Matter of fact, let's get that next. So we just kind of rolling with it. I just had a couple from Job 20 that I want to get, but you know what? Whatever comes up, we'll get it. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? We talk about this all the time. During the Renaissance period is where he gave you white Jesus. God was white. Adam white. Noah, Moses, whoever else. All the saints are white. Okay, painted them red people, and put these gay-looking poses on them, and wearing togas, clothes half hanging off. Basically, about 80%, 85% of their bodies basically naked. Okay, and they have a strip of cloth running through certain areas, right? They changed those things. What the Heavenly Father looks like, what the Lord and Savior looks like in His name, all right? They changed what the angels look like. They changed what the true saints look like, right? Now we go over here, get Malachi 4. I'm sorry, not Malachi 4, but Malachi 1. It says, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. Now, Western Rome fell. All right. We went through the time of the Byzantine Empire, and then eventually that Western Rome clawed its way back into the earth through the Renaissance period, starting in, what was it, Italy, I believe. All right, Italy, okay? And that's history that also links up with Revelation chapter 20, that season of Idumea, okay? Springing forward from then until now. So they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. That's twice. Job 9:24, Malachi 1:4. All right? They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. So that's two things there. Whom the Lord will have indignation with forever, righteous anger with forever. Also called them the wicked. And it says what? Esau, and then it also says Edom. See? These are the same people, the wicked. So the scriptures tell you who the wicked are. So if we go back to Job, all right, 20:4. It says, knows thou that of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short. So we now understand who the wicked is. Esau, Edom. Like it says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, that he will be revealed in his time, right? And the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment. And that's why we played that, or speaking about the last video clip that I played. Mass murderers, rapists, baby killers, kidnappers, on the wrong side of justice, the wrong side of history. Are you serious? But that's Esau at his best, man. He says that he was a liar from the beginning, right? They go forth from the womb speaking lies. Okay? And we can get the word hypocrite real quick. We don't really need to, but I guess we can get it. Hypocritical, look, godless, profane. Okay? Lest there be any profane person or fornicator, or unless there be any fornicator or profane person, as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright, and who afterwards sought it carefully with tears. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Hypocrite, irreligious, okay, because they don't worship the Heavenly Father. It tells you that in Job 21. All right, what would it do if we, let me get that real quick, okay? We can roll with it. I intend this to be short. We can roll with it. To be profane, be defiled, be polluted, be corrupt. And that's who they are, godless, profane, corrupt people, okay? Let's jump over here real quick. Prove that point. Job 21, okay, and actually it's further down. Right here, it says, well, let's get the point, because this is mostly speaking on the banking families there. We can use it as a general, point, but I just want to get the actual point of what we're trying to make here. So verse 14 and 15, Job 21, therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Okay, so verse 14 and 15 is telling you right then and there, these people are godless and profane, and they don't worship the Heavenly Father. They don't have any regards or respect for him. So we go back and it says what? That is the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment, and you get the word triumphing, right? Ranana, how do you want to pronounce it? Okay, Ranana, look, ringing cry, shout for joy. Oh, which makes me think about a few verses. Hold on. To overcome, to give a ringing cry and joy, exultation, praise, so on and so forth. They're mostly the same, right? So, yeah, it says ringing cry, shout for joy. I'm thinking of a couple scriptures. Let me get them. All right. Yep. Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Lord Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. See? Joy, right? Joy of a hypocrite. Oh, man. Okay, too many. Hold on. We got to move faster because scriptures is pouring in and my brain is not moving fast enough. Hold on. That one just came in. Hold on. Let me get this. Rejoice. See? The joy of the hypocrite, right? Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of who? He's mentioning the same people. Why? The wicked of Edom that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And that's what it says in Isaiah. All right, make bare the legs, so on and so forth. Okay. There was another one I was thinking of, which is also in Lamentations. Let me get that one. Lamentations 2:15. Right. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that man called the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? And this is all the heathens, right? Not just Esau. This is all the heathens together. In oneness, like it says in Psalms 83rd chapter, right? All thine enemies, you see, have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we look for. We have found it. We have seen it. Yahweh had done that which he had devised. He had fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. He had thrown down and had not pity, and had caused thine enemy to rejoice. Rejoice, you see, joy of a hypocrite. Rejoice over thee. He hath set up the horn of thine adversaries, which that's Esau Edom, right? He's the horn of our adversaries, the chiefest of all our enemies, because it goes back to the history, to Deuteronomy, Genesis, the 25th chapter. Okay, you can also get the 27th chapter to get a little bit more in the history, but mainly that the point of that is in 25. Okay, let me get this, because he also said this. Let me reset in my Job. Ezekiel 30, I want to say it's 36. We'll get over there. We'll see. Yep. 36:2. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Now, who's in our land right now? There are several nations in our land right now, but I mean, in particular, we're talking about Esau Edom. He established this place that he calls the State of Israel, created by a paperwork, right? Okay. So the enemy has said against you, aha, joy of the hypocrite, even the high places are ours in possession. Okay. There's another one in Joel where it says, you took my goodly treasures, and so on and so forth. It's roughly paraphrased. All right. Let's get the next one. Therefore prophesy and say, thus said the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and you are taken up in the lips of talkers and are an infamy of the people. Okay, so you see the general thing that's going on here with these scriptures that we're reading, man. Okay, speaking of the joy of the hypocrite, right? Oh, is it in this chapter? It's either in this chapter further down or in the last chapter where it says, sit thou hast not hated blood. All right, let me get that one real quick. Okay, it was the next chapter. The last chapter. Ezekiel 35:6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay? And as let's go back to our starting point. All right, because it says what? Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short? All right, because there's an appointed time, all right, for this man to be taken out of power, man. And the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reaching to the clouds. There's other chapters that speak about that. Obadiah one that comes into mind, right? Though that exalting thyself as the eagle, right? Talk about his pride and all those things, okay? Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung, right? Because when somebody, takes a deuce, you're not thinking about the. So it says, and they which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Because the majority of dreams that you have at night, you don't remember them, okay? And even if you do remember some of it, like as you're just waking up, you remember the last portion of the dream or something like that. But eventually it fades away. You forget, like, oh, did I dream last night? I don't remember. That's exactly how this man is going to, because once this cancer is taken out the earth is going to be able to be better, okay? All right, which is going to take time, but Esau is the parasite of the earth, man, okay? He is a literal parasite, all right? And his joy is only for a moment. That I also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods. Yeah, it says that goods unjustly gotten. I forgot exactly how it's worded in the Apocrypha, all right? But yeah, the kingdom shall be transferred from one people to another, okay? Because you got this off of rape, robbery, lying, stealing, killing, and so on and so forth. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. And what does it say in Psalms? I think it's 72. All right. Let me just get it because I can't remember exactly how it's worded. Pride capacity has a chain. I just said this. Okay. It just came back. Actually, I think it's 73. Yeah, 73. Let me get 73. 72 is about Solomon. Here we go. Yep. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. That's the bankers, right? The so-called elite, the top, the 1%ers. Therefore pride compassed them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment, and they were blessed with what? The sword. Revelation 6 and 4, they were given a great sword to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. See? Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. And that is that not what he was talking about in the clip? Okay, now I'm not justifying the opposite side, Hamas or anyone else that they might be fighting against, but this is what he said out of his own mouth, speaking about raping, killing, what else he said? I can't remember exactly everything he said, but you watched the clip, right? Okay, this is them. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. Okay, committing genocide, but speaking out about they're just gonna rise up and do this again and again and again and again. Stop the cap, man. They speak lawfully concerning oppression. They set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walking through the earth. Okay, so bam, you see, you can't make it up, man, with the scriptures, man. All right, always accurate. All right, let's finish this. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, see, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned, it is the gall of asp within him. He's a wicked individual. Hey, that's what Habakkuk says, right? I think it's chapter 2, right? That his soul is not upright in him. Let's just get it. Just get it. But behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. His soul is not upright in him. He's wicked from birth. That's how the Lord created him to be. And that's what he is. All right. So it says, he has swallowed down riches and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Okay. Let me see if I can get a couple more points out of this. We probably could have read down all the way through, but I think we got the point across. All right. Okay. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High, because he says what? The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. You see? Makes me think about James 5. You lived in one time, okay? You are condemned to kill the just, and he do not resist you. But there's a time where all your riches and everything else, all right, it's going to be stricken from you because you're going to be put in captivity in the chains, man. Okay? So that's it. That's all I have for you, What will you edify? Shalom.